number 10 we have Adam Levine. The Maroon 5 frontman has since denied all of the recent accusations of cheating on his Victoria's Secret model wife, Beate Prinsloo, with Instagram model Sumner Stroh. However, this doesn't excuse him from today's list. In 2009, an interview resurfaced in which Adam admitted to messing around in his past relationships ahead of his marriage. Instant headlines connected this series of events from the direction of Sumner's accusations early last week, when the model took to TikTok in an attempt to expose the singer, further alleging that Adam had hopes of naming his new baby after her. In a statement Adam made to TMZ about his most recent scandal, Adam informed the media outlet, quote, "A lot is being said about me right now and I want to clear the air. I used poor judgment in speaking to anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner. I did not have an affair, nevertheless I crossed the line during a regrettable period in my life." Reeling back to the 2009 interview though, when Adam was questioned on why guys cheat, he revealed this to Cosmopolitan. "Instinctively, monogamy is not in our genetic makeup. People cheat. I have cheated. And you know what? There is nothing worse than the feeling of doing it." Since Sumner's allegations, we've seen several other women step into the spotlight to claim they've also received flirtatious messages from the singer. Most recently is former yoga instructor Alana Zabel. Alana alleges that she was also the recipient of flirty texts, but went on to further state that the personal ramifications she faced were far more severe than the others. Alana insisted that Adam rumoredly did not ever acknowledge the suffering she faced at the hands of her ex-boyfriend, basically accusing Adam of turning a blind eye to her pain. Alana and numerous other women campaigned the hashtag #ExposedAdamLevine at the top of her story as well. If you haven't yet, tap the notification bell for more, it really helps our channel. At number 9 we have Emily Ratajkowski. The runway/brand model has officially pulled the plug on her marriage by filing for divorce from her soon-to-be ex-husband Sebastian Bear McLeod. According to online reports, Emily filed for divorce on Thursday in New York. Emily's filing came in light of prior accusations of Sebastian cheating on her. Apparently, there have been several public signs over the past few weeks which hinted at a closure in the relationship between the 31-year-old model and the 35-year-old acting producer. Emily was caught moving out of their New York City house only last month, and she most recently announced that she was single and dating once more on social media. The broken up couple share a 1-year-old son named Sylvester together and got married back in 2018. Online records indicate that their divorce is still in the contested stage, meaning that they still have a lot of work to do before it can be finalized. Emily and Sebastian's last appearance together was in May at Ari Emanuel's wedding ceremony. At number 8 we have Scott Disick. Now Scott is no stranger to cheating allegations, nor the huge womanizer label branded on him throughout his lengthy time in Hollywood thus far. His player-esque ways actually began a long while back while he was in a relationship with reality star Kourtney Kardashian. This was most likely the biggest reason why Kourtney eventually made the decision to call it quits with Scott. During a Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode from 2009, the former couple were filmed fighting about texts Kourtney had found on Scott's phone that were allegedly sent by another woman. Surprisingly though, Kourtney ended up remaining by his side for quite a few years after this, even though she was dealing with immense trust issues doubled up with all of Scott's other reported problems at the time. Despite Scott cleaning up his acts in the years to follow, he soon fell right back into the rabbit hole of his old habits by July 2015. This was at the time when Scott was exposed via photographs of him getting a little too comfy cozy with his stylist Chloe Bartoli at a Monaco beach. Kourtney had considered that the final straw that broke the camel's back and dumped him for good.
Number 7. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Jen and Brad got married in 2000 in a lavish Malibu wedding, and things were perfect for the Hollywood it couple until they suddenly announced their divorce in 2005. What happened exactly? Well, long story short is Brad met Angelina for the first time on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and the rest is history. Apparently the movie was filled with so much romantic tension, it was impossible for the two stars not to fall for each other. I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Smith is probably the sexiest spy movie to ever exist, so it's easy to see how everything went down. But the problem was that Brad was still married to Jen. But he didn't let that stop him, and they allegedly still got together despite his marriage. To add insult to injury, he said about his marriage to Jen, quote, "I was trying to pretend the marriage was something that it wasn't. I'm satisfied with making true choices and finding the woman I love, Angie, and building a family that I love so much." That sounds pretty harsh, but it turned out that Brad and Angelina's relationship wasn't just a fling, and they actually went on to date for many years and had a large family before finally getting married in 2014. The love triangle was one of the biggest celebrity scandals of the early 2000s, and it still dominates the tabloids to this day.
At number 6 we have Jude Law and Sienna Miller. The UK was quite literally obsessed with their former celebrity acting dream couple Sienna and Jude. However, reports stated that the relationship was beyond tumultuous behind the cameras. Headlines of their time together began in 2004, following Jude cheating on Sienna with his children's previous nanny. Said nanny was was taking care of his offspring from a former marriage, and they entangled in an affair prior to Jude and Sienna getting married, but after the duo were engaged. Yet, there are two very revealing sides to the coin of this relationship because Jude wasn't the only one exposed for being unfaithful during their time together. It was later revealed that Sienna also cheated on Jude with the James Bond actor Daniel Craig. The rocky couple eventually let the romance go in 2006. They made a brief reconciliation in 2009, but soon split for good the following 2 years in February 2011.
Number 5. Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott. The Beverly Hills 90210 star and her husband, Dean McDermott, have been making headlines since their scandalous start. The two actors met on the set of Lifetime's Mind Over Murder in 2005, only a year after Spelling married her first husband, Charlie Shanahan. Dean was also married at the time for more than a decade to Mary Jo Eustace, with whom he shares a son. Tori and Dean began cheating on their spouses the night they met. In fact, she wrote about the affair in her 2009 memoir, quote, "It was love at first sight. I fell so hard. Then I noticed he had a wedding ring. When someone asked, he pulled out photos of his children, and oh yeah, I had a husband too." Yeah, there's no making that sound better. She went on to say that the couple ended up spending the night together despite the fact that they were both married. And she knew it was meant to be because when she woke up next to Dean the following day, she said she had no regrets. The two married and went on to have 4 children together before yet another cheating scandal rocked their relationship in 2013, this time with Dean and the nanny.
At number 4, we have Ashton Kutcher. While he was much younger, Ashton was married to a much older Demi Moore, and there was already mass public speculation on whether or not the duo would weather the storm and make it to the sunny side of rainbows and happiness. As expected by most, the answer ended up being a fat no. Aside from the fact that Ashton and Demi were already separated when Ashton was seeing Sarah Leal, he was actually caught cheating on Demi with Mila Kunis. So much so that Sarah made Ashton's affair everyone's business, even going so far as to publicly warn Mila that Ashton was, quote, incapable of being faithful. However, it seems that Sarah's warning genuinely fell on deaf ears, as Mila and Ashton are still very much together and seemingly thriving nowadays.
Number 3. Billy Crudup and Claire Danes. The massive scandal started in late 2003. Billy and his girlfriend of 8 years, Mary Louise Parker, who at the time was about 7 months pregnant with his son, broke up. The New York Post reported that the actor had moved on with his stage beauty co-star Claire Danes, who was only 24 at the time. In the summer of that year, the former co-stars had been spotted getting cozy all over New York City, and even had a very cute looking courtside date filled with PDA. But Billy wasn't the only cheater in that situation, as Claire also ended up breaking the heart of her longtime boyfriend Ben Lee to be with the actor. Their love affair didn't last long, however, and it's clear that all the heartbreak wasn't even worth it, because they ended up splitting up just 3 years later. Naturally, the ultra-private couple didn't discuss the reason behind their breakup, but the tabloids were happy to do so for them. Several magazines even claimed that Danes had left Billy for Hugh Dancy, but we'll never really know what happened. Years later, Claire said, quote, "I was just in love with him and needed to explore that. I was 24, I didn't quite know what those consequences would be."
At number 2, we have Jack Nicholson. Jack and Angelica Huston were a celebrity couple who spent 17 years going back and forth from the status of committed to breaking up. Their on-again off-again series came to an official end when they split for the last time in 1989. This was reported to have happened because there was a discovery that Jack had an extramarital affair, and the result was that his mistress, Rebecca Broussard, got pregnant. Even though Rebecca was nowhere near the first woman that Jack cheated on Angelica with, it seemed it was the final hurting point for Angelica to separate from Jack for good. At number 1, we have Charlie Sheen. People are still talking about how much it seems Charlie was trying every trick in the book to ruin his career and reputation during his infamous spiral. On top of his addiction issues and health diagnosis, Charlie had a notorious title of being a serial cheater. His first wife, Donna Peel, married Charlie in 1995. This was the same year that Charlie was exposed as being a client of the courtesan agency that was operated by Heidi Fleiss. This marriage ended in 1996. Following this, Charlie wed Denise Richards back in 2002, but they weren't said to have lasted long either, as Denise filed for divorce in 2005 after cheating rumors ensued while she was in her 7-month term with their second child. Charlie denied the cheating allegations while being with Denise, but his third marriage faced the same issue. After he tied the knot with Brooke Mueller in 2008, Charlie was reportedly entertaining workers in the adult industry, sometimes escorting them to the home he and his partner were sharing. Much like his others, Charlie and Brooke divorced in 2010.
Number 10. Justin Timberlake and Elisha Wainwright. Justin Timberlake and Elisha Wainwright made headlines when they were spotted holding hands during a night out in New Orleans. The two actors were shooting the movie Palmer, which is a drama about an ex-con college football star who returns home after being in prison. The co-stars were photographed together getting cozy at a bar in Louisiana, sitting at a table holding hands and talking to one another. The photos show Justin, who didn't appear to be wearing his wedding ring, holding hands with the actress under a table and drinking together. At one point, Alicia could be seen resting her hand on the singer's knee, and while he was standing up, putting his arm around her waist. The photos caused a huge scandal because he's been married to Jessica Biel since 2012. Their relationship was really being tested, and Justin had to make a public statement the following month, apologizing for his strong lapse in judgment, and claimed that despite the photos, nothing happened between him and his co-star. Number 9. LeAnn Rimes and Eddie Cibrian. This affair was not exactly unique. In fact, it's a story so common in Hollywood that it borders on cliche. The actors were co-stars who met on the set of a Lifetime movie called Northern Lights. They immediately hit it off and the flirting began. But the kicker was that they were both already married at the time to other people. But hey, in classic Hollywood fashion, they didn't let that stop them, and not long after meeting, they were photographed having dinner together, and the rumor mill did the rest. After extreme press coverage of the affair, both LeAnn and Eddie decided to make it official and separated from their respective spouses to be with each other. They eventually ended up tying the knot in 2011, but the story doesn't entirely end there. A few years later, Eddie was caught cheating on LeAnn at Wendy Williams' 50th birthday party, but she claims she's unfazed by the whole thing and doesn't seem to mind if he flirts with other women. You know what they say, sometimes how you get them is how you lose them too. Number 8. Helena Bonham Carter and Kenneth Branagh. The two are believed to have begun their secret relationship on the set of the film Frankenstein in 1994, which Kenneth played the lead role and Helena played Frankenstein's adopted sister, Elizabeth. At the time, he had been married to Emma Thompson for 8 years, who was adored by fans. The two were even dubbed the golden couple by the British press, and seemingly had the perfect marriage, which is why the affair caused a massive scandal that rocked tabloids across the nation. They split in 1995, and years later, Emma has admitted that her tearful scenes in Love Actually were so persuasive because she had had her heart broken very badly by Kenneth. It was a little awkward because both actresses had to work together in the Harry Potter films, with Helena playing Bellatrix and Emma playing Professor Trelawney. But in 2013, she revealed that the two had made their peace years ago, and that the divorce was all blood under the bridge. But Emma even joked that she and her Harry Potter co-star were both slightly mad and a little bit fashion challenged, and she said, quote, "Perhaps that's why Ken loved us both."
At number 7, we have Jessica Simpson. Jessica and her former partner Nick Lachey seem to have it all. On MTV, the Once a Thing duo was suggested as more than destined to become far more than just a reality TV dream couple. However, it seems this wasn't entirely the case, as the truth soon prevailed itself and Jessica was caught with her pants down. Jessica, for a fact, cheated on Nick, as per evidence from paparazzi in Los Angeles when they spotted Jessica departing the Chateau Marmont donning Adam Levine's t-shirt. At the time, no one could deny Jessica's unfaithfulness towards her then husband, and Nick divorced her in 2006. Nick is now married to his current wife Vanessa and shares 3 children, and Jessica is also happily moved on into her own relationship as well.
Number 6. Kerry Russell and Matthew Rhys. The actors played secret KGB agents and love interests on the FX spy drama The Americans. The romance between the two sparked while on set, but there was just one problem. At the time, Kerry was still married to Shane Deary, with whom she had 2 kids. The two leads play like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and so naturally, many believe their steamy scenes were indicative of a real-life romance. At the time though, they both heavily denied it. When talking about their sex scenes, Matthew said, quote, "We've all done a million of them in this crazy life we sign up for." He said that eventually the clinical element of it kicks in, which sort of takes away from that embarrassment. But it's obvious that there was really something going on, as the two of them were shopping for furniture together at Christmas in 2013. Not long after, Kerry parted ways with her now ex-husband. Unlike most cheating scandals though, this one seemed to turn out quite well, as Kerry, Matthew and Shane reportedly go on vacations together and frequently dine out as friends. Not only that, but in 2016, Kerry and Matthew welcomed their first child together and became a blended family. Number 5. Ewan McGregor and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. The co-stars brought their on-screen romance into the real world after working together on the FX series Fargo. The pair appeared on season 3 of the anthology crime drama, which debuted in April of 2017. Only a month later, the actress announced on social media that she had split from her husband of 7 years, Riley Stearns. Following her separation, Winstead was spotted on a date. hooking up with McGregor in London, and cheating rumors were flying because although she was single, he was very much not. The Trainspotting actor was still married to Eve Mavrakis at the time, with whom he shares 4 children. After the Emmy winner was spotted getting cozy with Winstead, fans began to wonder about the status of his marriage, but it wasn't until January of 2018 that his now ex-wife filed for divorce. But while the two managed to keep their romance relatively private, their relationship raised eyebrows even among their family members. In fact, in August of 2018, McGregor's daughter Clara had some strong feelings on the new relationship at the time. She took to Instagram to comment on a Mary Elizabeth Winstead fan page, quote, "Most beautiful and talented woman on earth? Oh man, y'all are delusional. This girl is a piece of trash." Wow. Number 4, Kate Hudson and Owen Wilson. The Hollywood stars had a massive cheating scandal while filming the 2006 comedy You, Me and Dupree, most likely because Kate was married to rock musician Chris Robinson for 6 years when she met Owen. The actors had a wild affair that lasted only 6 months, but it was definitely long enough to ruin Kate's relationship with her husband forever. Amid the rumors of infidelity, the Black Crowes singer ended up filing for divorce from Hudson in November 2006, citing irreconcilable differences and seeking joint custody of their then 2-year-old son Ryder. A month after the film opened in July, Kate and Owen were confirmed to be officially dating. But the affair didn't seem to stack up to anything as the couple's relationship was short-lived, and they broke up less than a year later. As the public started to turn against the actress, she countered the speculation by telling Harper's Bazaar that's not what happened. But looking back at the 2006 press tour, it was pretty obvious that something was happening between them because it got kind of inappropriate. Owen asked her about wearing a bikini in the film and whether she and her husband have ever had a third wheel experience.
At number 3 we have Ryan Phillippe. He and his former actress lady Reese Witherspoon got married in 1999, which was a marriage that seemed to be promising for many. The style of their relationship seemed set up for greatness from the start, and yet this wasn't entirely the case. Ryan's uber cozy relationship with his co-star Abby Cornish, who was opposite of him in Stop Loss, was brought to the center of Hollywood's gossip vine, and there was a startling amount of evidence against Ryan for him to deny the allegations set against him, ranging from everything between Reese discovering messages on his phone regarding the affair to the paparazzi quite literally catching him in the act. Ryan's infidelity grew so apparent that Ryan never once cared to deny it. This resulted in Reese filing for a divorce in 2007.
Number 2, Sienna Miller and Daniel Craig. Scandal erupted in 2005 when Sienna Miller's confession of love to Daniel Craig was publicly broadcast to the world while she was still married to Jude Law. The two were co-stars in the 2004 film Layer Cake with Sienna, and at some point the two got a little bit closer than they did on screen. But how did the news of the affair get out? Well, that's the tricky part. A journalist hacked Daniel's voicemail, retrieving a message that came from Sienna's phone number. Both parties tried to discredit the audio tape at first, but when the hearing took place for the hacking trial, it was proven to be authentic. Sienna tried to play it off and told the court that she always ended phone calls saying "I love you," insisting it wasn't some huge declaration of love. She denied that the message meant she was in a relationship with Daniel, but she did admit to the court that they were briefly involved. Jude reportedly learned of his wife's affair from the newspaper story and called Daniel to confront him because the two used to be close friends. Talk about messy. And coming in at number 1, Meg Ryan and Russell Crowe. In the 90s, Meg Ryan had a squeaky clean image thanks to her role as a leading lady in many rom-coms like When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle. But her reputation took a huge hit when it emerged that she cheated on her then husband, Dennis Quaid, with her co-star Russell Crowe. Meg and Dennis had been married for 9 years and already shared a son together when she met Russell on the set of the 2000 thriller Proof of Life, and the pair had instant chemistry. But the affair reportedly caused awkwardness amongst the cast and crew, as the actress didn't even appear on the press tour because she was so worried that they would be asking her about it. In fact, the film's director Taylor Hackford blamed the cheating scandal for the film being a flop at the box office. Meg was publicly shamed, especially after she and Dennis officially announced their separation, because it allegedly put too much strain on their marriage. When she began dating her co-star, it really changed the public's perception of her as the quirky rom-com lead. In fact, she told The Guardian in 2003, quote, "I was all over the tabloids and I walked through the lobby and the place stopped. People stopped talking and stared at me." Goes to show you how sensational the affair was at the time. Number 10, Will Smith and Margot Robbie. In 2013, 2013, Star magazine published a bombshell allegation that Will Smith was caught cheating with his co-star Margot Robbie when they worked together on the movie Focus. The report actually claimed that in photo booth pictures that they found and published on their cover, Will appeared to be shirtless and Margot lifted up her own shirt to reveal her lingerie. The magazine also claimed that after they pulled the curtain back to take the pictures, they were getting very touchy-feely with each other in the dark. The scandal was massive at the time because Will is married to Jada Pinkett Smith, and back then they had yet to admit to having an open relationship. But the rumors soon died down as E! News revealed that the pictures were commissioned by production and that the entire cast and crew saw them being taken. It also came out that Will and Margot are absolutely just friends and there was nothing else going on between them. Even Margot was quick to deny everything on Twitter. Quote, "There's absolutely no truth to the ridiculous rumor. It's disappointing that goofing around on set could be taken so out of context." Well, people do tend to jump to conclusions. Number 9. Dominic West and Lily James. The actors were at the height of scandal when they were photographed getting cozy in Rome, all while filming their new series of Pursuit of Love in 2020. The pictures show the stars kissing, sitting at a cafe, standing on the Spanish steps, and riding tandem on a scooter looking very much to be on a date. Although Lily was single at the time, Dominic has been married to Catherine Fitzgerald for 10 years, and they have 4 children together. A source told The Sun that when Catherine saw the pictures, she was devastated and tried to get a hold of her husband, but he wasn't answering his phone. She was reportedly shocked by the whole thing because she didn't realize anything was going on. But only a few days later, there was a photo taken out the front of the couple's home with a note saying, "Our marriage is strong and we're very much still together. Thank you." Since the incident, James has kept quiet and cancelled various interviews to promote her latest film, Rebecca, which is probably a good decision considering the fact that both parties have not yet publicly talked about their affair since it occurred. Number 8. Chad Michael Murray and Paris Hilton. In 2003, Chad Michael Murray and Sophia Bush fell in love while filming the TV series One Tree Hill. 2 years later, they were married. However, they separated just 5 months later when rumors swirled that Chad had cheated on his wife with Paris Hilton, his co-star on the film House of Wax. During the time he and Paris both worked on the horror film together, they reportedly had an affair, according to Backstreet Boy Nick Carter, who was dating Paris at the time. But after separating, Chad and Sophia still had to keep working together for another 3 years on One Tree Hill. If that's not awkward, I don't know what is. It wasn't until 2011 that the actor decided to rethink the way in which he was living his whole life. Quote, "When you're young and you're thrown into something that I was definitely not ready for, I'm human and I screw up." But his ex-wife definitely took the whole affair much harder, and it's clear that his actions really affected her in the long term. In 2017, she wrote in Cosmopolitan that the scandal was a massive event in her life and the trauma of it was amplified by how public it became. She has also said that she feels the marriage was a joke and it did nothing but reduce her to a Hollywood statistic. Ouch. Number 7. Abby Cornish and Ryan Phillippe. The actor first met Reese Witherspoon while starring alongside her in the 1999 movie Cruel Intentions. They actually fell so in love with each other that they ended up getting married that same year. But all good things must come to an end, especially Hollywood romances. And in 2008, Ryan started to get closer to his new co-star, Australian actress Abby Cornish, while they were filming the movie Stop Loss. The two of them seemed to be so comfortable being seen in public together that they were eventually caught having dinner together in a Texas restaurant, despite the fact that there were some curtains around the table. They were also caught together again just outside of Ryan's apartment. The affair was so in your face, it really wasn't funny. But it wasn't until Reese discovered intimate messages back and forth that were being exchanged between the two of them on his phone. Then it was clear that after 7 years of marriage and 2 children, Reese was ready to call it quits with Ryan, and later went on to marry talent agent Jim Toth, whilst Ryan and Abby's love affair eventually lost its spark. Number 6. Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. The actress and writer Carrie Fisher was never one to hold back when she had something to say, and in 2016 she shared a fascinating piece of history in her own memoir called The Princess Diarist. According to Carrie, she had a brief but very intense affair with her Star Wars co-star Harrison Ford while they were filming the movie in 1976. But what's really quite troubling is that People magazine reported that she was just 19 years old when the 3-month affair took place, while Harrison was 36 years old and married to his wife of 15 years, Mary Marquardt. To make matters worse, the couple also shared 2 kids together. In terms of sneaking around, Carrie actually said, quote, "It was Han and Leia during the week and Carrie and Harrison during the weekend. She also explained to The Guardian that the affair between them had eventually come down to unreciprocated love. She said that she'll always feel something for him. The Star Wars actress was so young at the time that they got together, and although she must have known it was wrong, it's hard to say that the blame rests completely on her. What's even sadder is that after Carrie died in 2016, Harrison never fully confessed to the affair, probably more out of shame for cheating on his wife.
At number 5, we have Jennifer Lopez. One of her most high-profile relationships was her marriage to celebrity dancer Chris Judd in 2001. Jennifer was still very much married to Chris when she was exposed for seeing Ben Affleck at the same time. Reports stated that when Chris found out, he immediately took to divorce court to settle his emotions regarding their then messy situation. Jennifer was later set to marry Ben, but in what seems like the scariest form of karma, Chris's favor was returned in the form of Ben telling Jennifer he was marrying Jennifer Garner instead of her, while JLo was in the midst of organizing their wedding. Naturally, Jennifer and Chris's relationship was super short-lived when they officially separated in 2003, both moving on to their respective next potentials in the Hollywood dating pool.
Number 4, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Although it's been over for decades, Nicole Kidman's marriage to Tom Cruise is still one of Hollywood's most talked about relationships. Cruise met Nicole Kidman on the set of the movie Days of Thunder, and the pair were instantly smitten with one another, and they soon started engaging in a torrid love affair. But at the time of meeting, you guessed it, the Top Gun actor was still married to Mimi Rogers, whom he wed in 1987. As it became clear that the affair was more than just a simple fling, Tom divorced his first wife in February of 1990, and less than 1 year later, he exchanged vows with Nicole in December of 1990. They even adopted 2 children, Isabella Jane and Connor Anthony, and eventually went on to make 2 more movies together as a couple. But as we all know, their marriage was far from perfect, and they ended up splitting a decade later in 2001. Looking back on the divorce, Nicole said, quote, "It took me a very long time to heal. It was a shock to my system. We were in a bubble, just the 2 of us. We became very dependent on one another." Number 3, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Many Hollywood romances have started on screen and bled into the real lives of the actors involved. The most iconic has to be that of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. The 2 engaged in a scandalous affair after meeting on the set of To Have and Have Not back in 1944. Bacall was only 19 when she first met Bogart, who was already an acclaimed Hollywood star and 25 years older than her. But that wasn't the only issue. At the time, Bogart was married to actress Mayo Methot, but their relationship was reportedly falling apart. Bacall confessed in her 1978 memoir that there was no clap of thunder or lightning bolt moment when she first laid eyes on him in 1943, but the actors became close on the set when she was nervous about the production and turned to her co-star for support. Just 3 weeks into filming, the pair shared their first kiss in her dressing room after a day of filming, and he asked her for her phone number, which she famously scribbled on the back of a matchbook. After that, they began meeting in secret places and using their on-screen names to disguise their identities. Bogart eventually divorced his wife in 1945 and married Bacall just 11 days later. Number 2, Morena Baccarin and Ben McKenzie. The Homeland actress furiously denied rumors that she had been cheating on her husband at the time, Austin Chick, but when she got pregnant by her Gotham co-star Ben McKenzie, there was very little she could do to cover it up. And just like that, the cheating rumors were confirmed. Although the actress tried to shut down the allegations, according to a TMZ report, the divorce papers filed in 2015 by Austin show that he claimed that he was still sharing a bed with Morena when she conceived Mackenzie's baby. She did get a happy ending though, and eventually gave birth to Mackenzie's daughter Frances in March of 2016, just 2 weeks before her divorce from Austin was finalized, and went on to marry Mackenzie in June the following year. But did she at least feel a little bad for sleeping with her co-star while she was married? Well, not really. In fact, she told People magazine that working with him on Gotham was wonderful. Quote, "Ben's the sweetest. It's very nice to work with your significant other, especially when you're pregnant, because you know you'll get some extra TLC and get taken care of." I mean, yeah, I guess that sounds nice if you can ignore the question of how they met. Number 1, John Malkovich and Michelle Pfeiffer. The legendary actor John Malkovich caused intense scandal both on and off the screen when it came to filming 1998's Dangerous Liaisons with his co-star Michelle Pfeiffer. At the time, the actor had been married to actress Glenn Headley for 6 years, but that completely fell apart in the midst of his affair with Michelle. Interestingly enough, even the film's director, Stephen Frears, said, Quote, "Dangerous Liaisons is about betrayal and lies and relationships unraveling. It was one of those times where reality and art intersect. It was overwhelming to John. Even for a man who delights in bad behavior, that was a difficult time. Not to mention the fact that John's older brother, Danny, told Entertainment Weekly in 1993 that when the actor came home with Michelle, that was the happiest that he had ever seen him. But even though John and his ex-wife got divorced in 1988, the affair didn't last long either, and they reportedly broke up not long after. But apparently Malkovich took the breakup very hard and reportedly cried for a whole year. The two of them must have really had something special, because he told The Guardian in 2008, quote, "It's hard to believe Michelle Pfeiffer ever said hello to me. I mean, if you can forget about the fact that he cheated on his wife, it's still romantic the way he talks about Michelle."